y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Morgan and this is Mo Life. We talk about life, love, relationships, all that good stuff. If you're returning, welcome back. It has been a hot minute. A lot has happened since my last video. I'm in a new place, so that's unexplained, the new background. I got decorated and stuff still, so please excuse the bare walls. But I'm in a new place. I had some time. I was like, let me make a new YouTube video. It's been too long. The topic for today's video is 5 things that women can do to help support men's mental health. Now I've talked about this in my other videos about the importance of men's mental health and how there's still a huge stigma around it. So I went and asked some of my closest male friends, my brother friends, my boyfriend. I asked them, what can women do to help men? Excuse my cat, Miss Isha. She over here messing around with the stand. Girl, you better chill out. I'm finna lock you out this room. Okay, are we understood? Alright. Sorry. She be doing too much. She gonna do it again. Anyway, so this is like from perspective of men. I have no right to tell other women how to treat men better without asking men first. Like, we should hear it from the men, not from women. So I compiled a list of things that they told me word for word, and I'm going to be sharing that with you today with a little commentary on each of them. But basically, I know winter is a time that a lot of people go through it. Cold weather, seasonal depression, there's no sun. If you live in the Midwest or anywhere where you're not in the South where it's hot, it can get pretty depressing outside. And it's important to check in on everybody, but especially men. They do deal with things in a different way than women due to societal expectations of them. So, number 1, again, I'm going to read this word for word. Put them in a place that makes them feel comfortable to talk about their mental health without the risk of them bringing it up and using it against them later on. Don't find a way to make him feel bad when he comes to you about something you did that made him upset. Don't play victim. Don't flip it back on him. Just own it and listen to him. So this would be an example of a relationship when the man is coming to the girlfriend and saying, hey, I had a problem with X, Y, and Z. And the girl's like, well, the reason why I did that was because you did this. So that's why I did that to you. And what that does is it completely devalidates what the man was saying. It flips the problem back onto him. So now every single time he wants to communicate with you about something that he has a problem with, he's probably not going to, because every single time the woman is finding a reason to justify her behavior, even though her behavior hurt his feelings or made him feel some type of way. So I know, also excuse the construction, they're doing way too much today, but we're gonna go through it. But I know I did this. This is something I'm working on as well, where my boyfriend would express something to me and I would feel like I'd have to explain it. Like, hey Morgan, when you did this, like, I really didn't like it. And I'd be like, well, the only reason I did that was because you did this to me. And so it's finding a way to justify hurt feelings, and no matter who does it, it's not a good thing. So just learning to listen, let him explain, apologize for your behavior instead of trying to validate the reasons why you did it. Validate him. And then doing that continually will allow him to feel safe with you, and that will open up your relationship more. Number 2, just listen and try to understand us. It's very hard for us as men to express ourselves because no one ever listens to us, or they just view us as being weak. When we open up to our women, it's a whole process. We think before we do. We literally rehearse shit in our head so that way whatever we say doesn't sound rude or anything, because if we say one small thing the wrong way, now it's right back on us and we have to make you feel better. And that ultimately leads to our feelings being pushed aside again because now we gotta make you feel better. So again, that kind of plays off the first one, just listening and understanding instead of always trying to listen to respond. That's a huge thing people talk about, is listen to understand, not to respond. So same thing, we have to do that. As soon as we make the problem about us, now the men go into the role of like, oh, she's upset now I have to go take care of her, even though this was supposed to be about how I felt. Now I'm left taking care of her again because she got upset about something. So women, I know we're sensitive beings, but sometimes try to put that aside and really sacrifice that moment if you have to, and give it to your man fully so he can be the one talking and he can be the one being validated, and it's not about you. all the time. Number 3, the world is already not favorable to men, so understanding that men aren't cared for or loved unconditionally is something many men have to internalize. With this in mind, just being our support system, genuinely asking how our day was, supporting our dreams and aspirations, being cared for, I think is very big for men. Loyalty and support is big. So, this whole concept of men not being unconditionally loved has been a topic amongst like those podcasts or videos where like men and women are like arguing back and forth, and they'll be like, well, women aren't either. It's a whole debate, and I think it's very interesting, but I will agree that in society, men aren't viewed as being unconditionally loved. Men always have to provide something in order to be of value, right? Men have to have a good job. Men have to have a car. Men have to have their shit in order to attract a woman, whereas a woman doesn't necessarily have to have that, right? You see those conversations where it's like, men don't care how much women make. Men don't care if she's a huge entrepreneur or huge successful businesswoman. He just cares that she brings a place of peace for him as a homemaker, that type of thing, versus men have to check off these check boxes, otherwise women wouldn't even consider them. So as a woman, understanding that and then genuinely caring for your man and appreciating what he is bringing to the table and what he is doing for you. Obviously, being a continuous support system, you know, being there for him, supporting his dreams and aspirations, building him up. One thing that is like huge in psychology too is you want to reward the behavior that you want to see repeated. So if your man is doing things and he's making you proud and he's, you know, doing his shit and getting the promotions or making business moves, like rewarding that behavior by like congratulating him and celebrating it, because that's just going to feed fuel to his fire to help him progress and to help y'all progress as a whole and as a relationship. Number 4, understand purpose will always be first before the relationship. Whatever the man's purpose is, the relationship cannot function properly if he's not excelling or aiming to improve. As a byproduct, the relationship will usually become better because he's doing what he needs to do to provide and be the best man he can be for the woman in his life. So this is also a topic that I haven't heard every single man talk about, but this concept of like a man's purpose comes before anything in life, and if he's not aiming towards his purpose or in that path of his purpose, other areas of his life will kind of like suffer. So what this does for women is that we need to understand, again, that we're not always first. Like, we are not the priority. There are other things in life that men need to take care of, and sometimes that makes us have to take a back burner. And that's okay. Like, not everything has to be about you all the time. And so really learning that, like, there's different priorities in men's life, especially when it comes to his purpose, and accepting that fact, not making him feel bad, not taking up all of his time, you know, not being like, oh, well, basically just giving him a lifestyle or allowing him to have a lifestyle that allows him to live in his purpose without making him feel bad or like restricting his time and like being selfish with it. Does that make sense? All right, and number 5, really just listen and validate his feelings, because men are very good at hiding pain. We are taught to not have emotions and everything is just bottled up inside, so being able to let him be emotional and vulnerable with you is very important. Now, there are some guys that are simply not used to that, but not caring about crying and being vulnerable is really peaceful. So again, being his peace, right? This is, as a woman, I think, in my opinion, that a high value woman is a woman who makes her man feel comfortable, makes her man feel safe in regards to emotional vulnerability. So the man provides physical safety, the woman provides emotional safety. If your man is opening up to you and you are caring, you're listening, you're allowing him to be vulnerable and not holding that against him all the time, he's going to feel safe, and in doing so, you become his peace, and he will become even more attracted to you, because that emotional safety means so much, especially like we just heard, men don't feel safe expressing themselves in general society. So women, you need to be that safe place for him. Never call your man a bitch for crying. Never make fun of him for crying. never look down on him or throw it back in his face or do anything that's going to make him feel shame or feel bad for opening up, because that will just lead him to not open up in the future. There's a lot of debates about who has it harder, men or women, all this and that, but in reality, all that matters is that you're taking care of the people in your life and you're allowing them to be safe in your presence. That is the best thing you can offer, is a safe place for the men in your life to be. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Again, this is a very highly debated topic, but I wanted to come in and speak on it with actual words from men on how women can better support men's mental health. It is such a huge issue. It is so important. And women, I think that we need to be more adamant about addressing it and being better at being those safe havens for the men in our life, because they do a lot for us. We are not always appreciative, we are not always thankful, and we are not always we don't always give the same back sometimes because we just expect this to happen. But again, we need to show appreciation, because nobody owes us anything. I don't care what anybody says. These men don't owe you anything, right? Like, they're choosing to give you themselves and be in this relationship with you. So make sure it's the healthiest that it can be, and make sure that that love and safety and that safe haven is something that you're really providing for them. So that is the end of this video. Those are just my thoughts. Feel free to leave in the comments below what your thoughts about this are. Men, please comment different things that women can do to help support men's mental health better, because this needs to be a conversation that's talked about more. I'm tired of seeing all these videos about what women need and what women want. That's important, but this also is important, so let's kind of raise that conversation up. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch y'all on the next one.